Contribution of, I'm coming to the point of Syyiduna Abdul Azeez at Dabbagh rahmatullah alayhi is not that he gave invention microphone, invention of TV, invention of this. He developed and made it easier for people to connect to Allah in such a way that everyone at their own level can do. He invented such actually methodology. Invention meaning he organized, all was there before, like I gave you the example of Tajweed and fiqh and Azeez and everything was there. It's just organizing and presented in such a way that the layman can also learn and follow, and scholar can also do. So the idea is not being attached to anyone, but being connected to everyone. Listen again. Not being attached to anyone. Attached meaning in the creation, I mean, there you are not attached to anyone, meaning your heart at least is attached. But you are connected, you know their rights, you fulfill their rights, you are good to them, you are connected. You are only attached and connected to Allah, but not attached to the creation. You are connected to the creation, you have a spouse, you have family, you should be connected to the society, but you should not be attached. The heart should be attached only with Allah Azza wa Jal. And things which are to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the Prophet and the Akhirah and things. Connection you should have all with, even neighbor, even animal is sitting with you. You should be connected to it in the sense, fulfill its rights, give it if it needs any help, give it food. Connection is something different. Attachment is something different. You have a phone, you have so many connections. All those numbers and all these sites, their connection. But maybe you're not attached to all of them. Maybe there are few numbers you're attached to. Maybe you have a phone number of your mother, you are attached by heart to her. Your wife, you're attached to her. But connection you have with all of them. Once you have a phone, you're connected to all the world. And all the net. But you're attached to only few. So Syyiduna Abdul is the Dabbagh was, he's actually the teaching about actually that being attached only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being connected to everyone through him, but not, and this is called zuhud, detachment from other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what he gave a very simple formula and way everyone and anyone, if they want, can be you may learn and very quickly get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll just give you some example. If you can look at the screen. So for example, what you see in the screen, all these things are written in Quran and Sunnah, but he, in one, you may say, explanation, he gave, you may say, hundreds and hundreds summary of verses of Quran and verses and a hadith in one diagram, for example. So mentioning there was nothing first. There was the world of spirits. Teaching people purpose of life. That's from where the purpose of life starts. Where does purpose start? Where life starts. The purpose of life starts from when life starts. When you were born, when you were created, that's from where your purpose starts as well. World of spirits. That you are created as spirit, and you have the potential to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, forever and ever in the kingdoms of heaven. And Allah said that you can do that. You have to prove that you want that. Fulfill the amana. So he gave this concept of the spirit's life and the world of spirits and the covenant, the promise. Then this is second life, dunya, where person is tested. Then third life of the barzakh, where the result starts coming of what one have been doing. Fourth life of day of judgment, and the fifth life akhirah. You see, in one, I'm not intending to explain this, I'm just giving you an overview that in one page or in one few lines in his lifetime, he would explain all the lives to human beings. So he made it easier. It's not that it's only exist here. It's already in Quran and Sunnah and all the ulama sulaha have mentioned. But to make it easier for people in a story form. Secondly, he gave a master map to the pleasure of Allah, as you can see. summarized all the path in one diagram in the form of 3 mountains. Mountain 1, mountain 2, mountain 3. Mountain 1, he said, you need to fulfill the conditions if you want to come closer to Allah. You have to have the right aqidah, belief. You have to know how to worship. You have to know how to clear your past from sins, tawbah. You have to know how to now walk the walk which is striving. And then this is the bridge of purification. Purification of the body, mind, heart and soul, enlightenment of the soul. And then reaching the second mountain of objectives, which is what you should be having, how you know you are closer to Allah, that you are giving preference to the command and love of Allah, the love of the messenger of Allah, compassion upon creation and connection with attachment with Allah Jalla Wa'ala. After that, he said, by the fadl of Allah, you should reach the pleasure of Allah, and if you die, the Jannah. And here, so all is in one. That is his contribution. Like we can say, okay, Tesla invented this, this person invented this. For example, good, they've done technology, but all the benefit, if that is going to go away after you die, yes, someone invented a phone, but Syyiduna Abdul taught how you can call and be connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, planes can take you to, for example, okay, different islands, different lands, but he taught the spiritual journey which can take you to past the galaxies into the heavenly and the spiritual world. That is also technology, spiritual technology and other development. So thirdly, he also gave this, that how a person sins and where do all these sins come. A snapshot, just very quickly, in 3 minutes, person can understand where shaitan is coming, where I'm doing, what I'm doing wrong. Tongue, ears, eyes, hands, feet, private part. So you see all these 3, he made it easy for people to know, to follow the path for Allah. Purification of the mind, those people who get waswasa and they are worried about, oh, I get bad thoughts. He said, don't worry about bad thoughts, worry about bad deeds. Bad thoughts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah ta'ala, the Prophet al-Islam said that Allah has forgiven my ummah of waswas. Hatta ta'amala bi aw tatakallama. Unless they put it in action, would this be? So one should be worried about, he said, about putting into action, not about it. They are forgiven. So don't worry about bad thoughts. Just don't like them and don't act upon them. Just ignore them. And how to then actually put into practice the good thoughts, the purification of the mind stage teaches that. Then purification of the heart and soul, he fundamentally told, if you get the 4 qualities in the heart, they are the mother of all other good qualities. I cannot go in detail, I'm just giving you just a snapshot of his contribution to the humanity. And then he also talked about the different parts of human being, that there are different lataif, different entities, like the Prophet Islam used to say, Allahumma ja'al fi qalbi noora wa fi lisani noora wa ja'al fi sam'i noora wa ja'al fi basari noora wa ja'al fi shi'ri noora wa ja'al fi dami noora wa ja'al fi lahmi noora wa ja'al fi azmi noora wa ja'al fi asbi noora wa ja'al min tahti noora wa ja'al fi nafsi noora wa ja'al fi bashari noora wa azim li noora. That the Prophet Islam used to pray, oh Allah, instill light in my body, in my flesh, in my blood, in each of my hair. So this means that there is potential everywhere in the body to either absorb light or darkness. We only know few of them. We know heart, mind, nerves, ruh, but there are others which are called lataif as well. So he also mentioned them as well, each of them in different ways. And then finally, also he mentioned the spiritual journey, that how spiritually you can travel. Yes, their invention of plane is very good, but the planes cannot take you to barzakh and spiritual world and thing. Invention of phones and wireless technology and satellite is good, but you can't speak to someone living in Barzakh or in Jannah. The technology he taught, the way he taught, you can interact with the prophets and Anbiya and other the entities of the Malaika, in like having ilmul yaqeen, ainul yaqeen and haqqul yaqeen. And he wrote down this methodology and taught, and everyone can follow under supervision. And then he also mentioned that there's no materialism, a union of materialism and spiritualism. Like people say, this is dunya, this is akhirah. He said, like in the hadith it comes, in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that whoever abandons this dunya for akhirah, or abandons completely akhirah for dunya, he is not a complete person. He is not the perfected one. But the perfected one is the one who actually fulfills the rights of both. So there is no rahmaniyah, and there is no actually other extreme as well. So how, for example, you can say, I am working as a nurse, I am working as a doctor, I am working as a security guard, I am working as a teacher. So this is we call dunya. I am working as a driver, I work this, I am mother who is just looking after children. So he mentioned that, look, anything which you do, if you go through the process of purification and you are connected to one of the sifat of Allah, and you find that sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and stay in present. So for example, a person who is a security guard, can be a manifestation of the Allah's quality of Al-Hafiz or Al-Muhaymin. So he's connected to that. So he should feel connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no materialism left. He is doing spiritual thing, whatever he's doing. A person who is judge in the court, if he is doing justice, he is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's quality of Al-Hakam, Al-Adal, the just actually, so he's connected. A mother who is feeding babies and children, she is manifesting the quality of Rabb. A father who is working for the children, he is manifesting the quality of Rabb. A person who is working as a doctor, profession, nurse or anything, they are manifestation of the quality of Allah of Shifa. So they should know that Allah is the Shifa giver. We are just trying and we are connected. We are colored and connected to that. So this way he taught that every person can even live in this world and do whatever jobs and things, but still be connected and attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his sifa, because Allah loves his sifa. And anyone who actually manifests and does what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sifa requires, Allah loves that person. So Allah is, as Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allaha rafiqun wa yuhibbu rifq. Allah is gentle. When you practice gentleness, Allah loves. He said Allah loves you then, because you are. Allah is merciful when you practice mercy. Allah is generous when you practice generous. Allah looks after, protects. If you are a security guard, you are protecting people, you are also actually loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you do it for Allah. Allah gives shifa, and you as a doctor, or you try to make people better, you are manifest. Allah will love that you're caring for actually humanity. Allah is Rabb, He is feeding. If you feed the poor, you help the poor. Allah is Nasir, He is helper. He loves the people who help others. So this way also Syyiduna Abdul Dabbagh mentioned, and he brought spirituality and materialism together. Actually, that in one you can actually practice. You don't have to go to jungle or anything else. You can be a king and also be very close to Allah, and you can be a beggar and you can be a shaitan at the same time. So this is not the matter, that what you have, what you do. So a mother who is looking after baby, the children at home, she shouldn't feel, oh, I am away, I can't go out for study and dawah and masjid, anything. No, at home she should fulfill the rights and be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and she think that I am a manifestation of the sifa of Rabb, that I am actually doing Rabbaniya, and I am bringing children up, and Allah loves this sifa so much. That's why He put the status of mother so much high, because of that actually one thing which He does. Bringing up children, feeding the children, looking after children, being patient with the children. That sifa is so loved by Allah, because that is Allah's major sifa as well. Because when in Surah Al-Fatiha, firstly He mentions Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Firstly, this quality is mentioned. Others are mentioned after. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim is mentioned after. Maliki Yawmiddin is mentioned after. So anyway, coming to a conclusion that, okay, whatever status Sayyidina Abdul Azeez Dabbagh has with Allah is very high status. Allah knows, and He knows. He has definitely. But I am showing you the contribution which can be seen through the history, that he made the path to Allah, called Tariqa-e-Muhammadiyya, so much easier that even simple person can follow. And his miracle karama, he did this only in 6 years of time, because his whole life was only 36 years. Firstly, he was learning, going through himself, and then actually around 1125 Hijrah, he started teaching, and 1131 he passed away as well. So in 6 years, he gave all this methodology and to humanity. He didn't take, actually, because his total life was 36 years old. So this shows that in a short span of time, a person can do such things which centuries people cannot do sometimes. If they're lazy, not doing anything, then you can have 200 years old and you still be there. And if you want to do, then few years, few months are sufficient.